Hey YouTube, welcome to the Subprime to Prime YouTube channel. Here, our focus is to get you from subprime to prime, and that all starts with knowing where you want to go on your financial journey. This is for information and educational purposes only, and not intended to be financial or legal advice. Please like and subscribe for future videos. Alright, let's get into it. In this video, we're going to talk about what to do when you have a bounced check. Now, I know most people don't even use checks anymore. Typically we use debit cards, credit cards, and things like that. But every now and again you get somebody old school that uses a check. And people still do issue and receive checks all the time. So when you issue a check that bounces, meaning it can't be processed due to insufficient funds in your account, there are several steps you can take. And the first is contact the recipient. Immediately get in touch with the person or entity with whom you wrote the check to. Explain the situation and assure them that you are working to rectify it. Now, this can help maintain trust and may prevent, them from taking further actions, such as charging additional fees or taking legal steps. That does not always happen. Usually, these things are like a quick process, so you might not get out of that, but you still contact them in any event. And then you deposit the funds quickly, as quickly as you possibly can, because, truth be told, just because you have checks in your checkbook does not mean you have cash in the bank. So you should always kind of know where you stand before you even, write that check. It's just a responsible thing to do. You check it out and make sure you got what you got. All right? Or what you need anyway. Okay, so, you're going to want to quickly deposit money into the account. And then that should cover the check plus any bank fees for the bounced check. Now, this step is crucial to ensure that, when the check is presented again, it'll clear without issues. And so, there's that. And then if the check has been, returned to you, consider reissuing it once you've, ensured there's enough money in the account. And if the recipient still has the original check, let them know it's safe to redeposit it. And, you're going to have to pay the fee, any additional fees. Now, kind of be prepared to pay the fees that are assessed by your bank, that are charged by your bank. Because they will have a return check fee, which you should pay promptly, like immediately. The sooner the better. As soon as you can, the better. And then communicate with the bank and contact them and discuss the situation. Sometimes, if it's your first time and you've been a good customer, the bank might be willing to waive the bounce check fee. And it doesn't hurt to ask. Closed mouth doesn't get fed in most cases. So it doesn't hurt to ask the question so that you make good, with your banking relationship, because you don't want to sever the bank relationship. It's super important for everything that you're doing going forward to you get your financial house in order. And then one thing that you should consider doing is setting up overdraft protection to prevent future checks from bouncing. Consider setting up overdraft on the account, and then you have this service. It links your checking account to another account, like a savings account or a credit card or a line of credit, to cover the transaction that exceeded the balance in the first place. And then be aware, however, that overdraft protection can come with its own fees and terms as well. So not necessarily are they always free, but they are good to cover your what and in the event that you have a situation. So, and then of course monitor your account regularly. Really, in this day and age, with all the digital technology and everything we have bank accounts right at our disposal, on our phones, on our computers, and most of the time wherever we are, we have that particular information there right for us. So there's really, honestly, no excuse really for bouncing a check this day and age, but it can happen, and you do have older folks who are not as banking savvy or don't get out as much in those types of things. Or sometimes they just need a reminder that a paycheck or payment isn't coming for a few days, and sometimes they just feel like, oh, okay, I have checks, I should have something in there, but that may not be the case. So monitor your account regularly, and review and adjust your budget. If you bounce a check and it's an issue, and you've done it more than once or twice, you might want to see where your spending habits are to make sure you're keeping enough to buffer in your checking account to cover unexpected expenses or delays. And usually check bouncing isn't like they're doing it for thousands of dollars or things. Usually on the contrary, usually it's well under $100 that typically someone might bounce a check for. And they can be larger, and people who do it habitually, yeah, you already know the deal. You're going to get in trouble with check systems, and it's going to be hard or difficult for you to open new accounts if you do that. So you want to be careful and mindful, not to do it at all if possible. And then, of course, the legal considerations, and be aware that repeatedly, issuing bad checks, that can land you with some legal consequences, including fines and criminal charges and such. So you want to be leery of doing that, in a repeated fashion. And as I said, always, if you can, have your bills and everything paid on auto pay. Monitor those bills, whether you get them digitally or mailed to you. You always want to be checking those out to make sure you're not getting ripped off too, because that's another thing that comes with monitoring. But look, this is the world we live in. If it's not one thing, it's another. But if you're diligent and staying on top of it, you got a handle on things, and you can weather through most any storm. Now, on my platform on school, we go really, really in depth on these things that sometimes life catches you off guard, and you want to be able to attack back with the full knowledge of all things financial that you can get your hands on. And that's what we do. So come on over to our VIP Subprime to Prime on the school platform. And again, thanks, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.